والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. سبحانك اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم علمنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما نافعا يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم المشرب الصافي يا وهاب يا
essentials and the principles and the foundations of the knowledge. And with فائدة قال سيدنا الإمام أحمد بن زين الحبشي نفع الله به: ينبغي لسالك طريق الآخرة أن يتتبع الفوائد حيث كانت عند أهل وغير أهل، ويستمد من كل أحد كائنا من كان، عالما كان أو عاميا. فرب خلق جميل يجده في بعض العوام ولا يجده عند غيره ولا هو في نفسه. ومن شأن الصادق أن يأخذ من جليسه كل مليح يراه فيه من قول أو فعل ويترك ما يستقبحه، وإذا أخذ الفائدة التي يجدها عنده فما عليه مما هو فيه من الفساد والإعوجاج. أحد من زين الحبشي he says that a person should, and we spoke about this previously, so he says that one should, as a student of Zain, you should seek the benefits and the fawaid where he is able to attain the benefits from wherever it may be, whether the person is a alim or whether he is just a normal person, he is not a alim. And if you find good akhlaq, good character, something of benefit, you should hold on to it. Because it may be possible if you find something with an ordinary person that you perceive to be an ordinary human being, an ordinary person, but that specific trait, that specific quality, that specific characteristic, you may not find it with anyone else. It could be a statement, it could be an action, it could even be an omission to act, meaning not to act. For those who say that omissions are not actions, so it could be to do something, or to just refrain from not doing it. You may find those things.
Find those things with not necessarily the ulama, not necessarily with the hukama, those who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala endowed with wisdom, but you may find it with anybody. An old senior lady, she may teach you something that you probably wouldn't find, you have never found for years of mutala, of reading books. You have never found that, you've never come across something like that, and she shares it with you. And therefore, المتنبي in ولو كنا النساء كمن فقدنا أو كمن فقدنا لفضلت النساء على الرجال. If females these days were to be like yesterday's females, لفضلت النساء على الرجال, then females undoubtedly would have been better than males. He says, فَلَا التَّأْنِيثُ لِاسْمِ الشَّمْسِ عَيْبٌ وَلَا التَّذْكِيرُ فَخْرٌ لِلْهِلَالِ. The fact that the sun in Arabic is, in terms of its gender, it's feminine, it is not something that the sun is to be rebuked about. The sun is the sun. ولا التذكير فخر للهلال. And the moon, even though it is in terms with the linguistic usage, it is used as in the masculine gender form, but that in itself is not an honor to the moon. So what he's saying is that it does not necessitate that the person, the gender doesn't necessarily play a role in whether you are able to benefit from the person or not. Rather, Imam al-Haddad himself, I spoke to one of the I was speaking to Shaykh Sheikh Munir Bazuhair in one of my visits to Tarim. So he's one of the people who has read extensively on Imam al-Haddad. There's barely a book of Imam al-Haddad except that he read it, and he did extensive research on Imam al-Haddad. And his latest addition to the legacy of Imam al-Haddad is where he compiled a book which it comprises of 2 volumes. One volume just discusses the students of Imam al-Haddad, and another volume just discussing the teachers of Imam al-Haddad. And he mentions in there that Imam al-Haddad had, I think he said, two or three female teachers. And it's narrated in the Tarajim of many of the Salihin. I think it may be Imam al-Hakim al-Naysaburi, where they said that he had approximately 1,300 students, teachers, of which Nayfan wa Thamaneen, about 80 odd of them were female teachers, females that he learned, that he studied and he benefited from. وما أحوجنا في هذا الزمان, and how we need in this specific time female scholars, ulama, that are able to embrace this message of Islam and to take it forward. The Sahaba Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim, one of the main points of reference after the demise of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was Sayyidatuna Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha wa ardaha. Even during his lifetime sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, where they were unable to maybe ask him certain things, or they would be afraid to ask him. Not only females, but even the males of the Sahaba used to refer back to Sayyidatuna Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha wa ardaha. Now, so whether it may be a scholar, this, and Imam Ahmad bin Zain Habshi in this, he basically teaches you how to view the entire universe and Allah's creation as an institution in which you are able to potentially benefit and learn from any one of them, either through the aqwal, or through the af'al, or through the ahwal. Will it be through the statements, the actions, or just the states that you find you are able to benefit? And subhanAllah, the person that opens himself up to this, he will benefit greatly. But you present yourself to this and have good thoughts of Allah Ta'ala's creation. That's the foundation and the basis for it, that you have good thoughts that you are able to benefit, whether it's young, old. It makes no difference. Learn at all. A person who doesn't necessarily have the not a alim, potentially can benefit. One of the prosecutors in the regional court, I remember he told me years ago. He's a scholar, and he studied under Mawla Sima rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi wa radiya anhu. He's currently a prosecutor, and then he was telling me that when he started his position, he found it really difficult. When he used to go into the prisons and into the cells and question and meet the criminals, and when he used to come out, he used to feel extremely exhausted. He used to feel tired. And he says, I can feel for as long as I'm in that 4 walls, and if I'm in that environment, I could feel And he just mentioned, so by the way, some of his experiences and so. So the old lady told him, and he shared this with me on more than one occasion, the old lady told him, Molana, weet je wat moet je doen? Als je daarin gaat, dan moet je baca als je aan het jammel kan gaan. Je mag read de dua, dan moet je Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min khubuthi wal khaba'ith. Because of the environment, that environment is filled with shayateen. So if you're entering there, it's like you're entering the house of the shaitan. Not everyone, but that's generalizing. And he says, Shaykh when I entered and I had started reading that, I felt completely. In fact, he says, I've tried it already. Where I enter and I don't read it. And when I enter again and I read it, and you see the difference when I interview the people, the impact it has on them. Just on the demeanor, how they react towards my questions and my interrogations. Yeah, so that's a fa'idah, mathalan, that she's an old lady or normal person, not learned, but he found that lost item of his, and he took it and he implemented it, and it was a benefit to him. وقال نفع الله به الفهم لأهله نعمة عظيمة ولكنهم ربما لا يستشعرون كونه نعمة لاستنادهم إلى كون ذلك من النظر في كتاب المثل وهو بالحقيقة يوجده الله عند النظر في الكتاب أو غيره وينبغي للمطالع في الكتب أن يستمد من الله المعونة على تيسير الفهم ويستحضر ذلك فسوف يحصل له المطلوب ويفتح الله عليه بالفهم في الدين. He says, Imam Ahmad Zain Habshi, he says that also know that understanding is a great ni'mah. The ability to understand is a ni'mah from Allah. But we don't feel
it, we don't acknowledge it as a ni'mah. At times we don't even know. We are heedless, we are oblivious to that. Listinadihim, because we base it on us looking into a book.
And reading in the book, and if I don't understand, I go to the dictionary, or I go to another book, and I see, okay, what do they say here? What does this column mean here? I go to the shuruh, the commentaries, or to the hawashi, the marginal notes, and I look in I say, oh, okay, mashallah, that's what he meant. He says, but you based your reading, and you thought that your fahm came from reading the book, but in reality, he says, هو بالحقيقة من عند الله. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gave you the fahm, the understanding. Right? So whether you found it, whether it is through looking through a book or paging through references, it makes no difference. It comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The fahm comes from Allah. And therefore he says, when a person reads a book, لابد أن يستمد من الله المعون على تيسير الفهم. You draw the aid and assistance from Allah to grant you the understanding. You draw the aid from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant you the understanding of what you do. ويستحضر ذلك and present it to Allah. Meaning that I don't, when I read, me opening a book, any book, and I read it, who's the one that gives me the understanding of it? Allah. Through who am I able to identify the words and the letters, and through who am I able to compose meaning and understand the external meaning and perhaps some implied meanings through whom? Through Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he says that, and this is because it happens so often within our life. It happens so often in our life that we are at times heedless to the fact that the fahm from Allah comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a ni'mah. It's a ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's afatul ni'mah al-ilf. One of the pitfalls of favors is that you become accustomed to it. Because it happens all the time. مثلا a female, Allah Ta'ala grants, a couple get married and Allah grants them a child. That entire process of gestation and pregnancy and delivering the child in the world, that entire process, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. But because it happens so often, and we think that it just has to be like that, the child, it has to grow from a clot of blood into a piece of flesh, and it eventually gets formed, and the bones, and then it comes out. We just see years, mashallah, a beautiful baby comes out. But that entire process, it is a miracle from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a ni'mah from Allah. As consuming or drinking. You drink the coffee and you say, mashallah. Sometimes we enjoy the coffee more than what we acknowledge the favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of what happens and what transpires in the body, and how my body is able to benefit from the caffeine and this and that, and how my body is able to benefit from the food, extract that which is beneficial, discard that which is not beneficial, and just take that which suffices it and it needs, and that entire process. It's a ni'mah and it is a miracle from Allah. It's a miracle. Ask the most complex of research, the most intellectual of researchers, and the most experienced of doctors and specialists. Ask them to put something together that can fulfill the same process that the body does. Not even just the kidney. Just make what people do now to go, and if their kidneys are not working, they have to go for dialysis. You see machines of dialysis. You see what machines of dialysis? Massive machines. And the blood goes in, all the blood gets drained, and the blood goes through the process and it comes back into the body. At times they have to add extra. That entire process, all that machines, that function is being fulfilled by such a small organ. It's all organized. And has been working since the time Allah Ta'ala created you. Just worked. You don't have to recharge it. You don't have to service it. But because we've become so accustomed to it, if I open my mouth, words must come out. Right? Sounds must come out. If I decide I'm going to stop speaking, I stop speaking. If I decide to speak, the words come out. If I decide to lift my hand does. If I decide to take something, it just happens. But that is a ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So he draws our attention to a very, very important phenomenon. And he says, Al-fahmu li-ahlihi ni'matun 'azima. Never ever undermine the importance of understanding. If Allah gives you the ability to read something, anything, and you understand it, make Allah for it. Make Allah for it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted you the ability to understand. قال سيدنا الإمام أحمد بن حسن العطاس نفع الله بخصلتان يحسن من طالب العلم أن يلاحظهما. He says two qualities that is extremely important for a student of deen. ألا يدخل في شيء من علومه وأعماله إلا بنية صالحة. Pious intention, good intention, sincere intention. Secondly, وأن ينظر إلى الثمرة والنتيجة. You should always keep in mind what is the goal. What is the end goal? What is the end goal? Always. وإذا لم يلاحظ هذا لم ينتفع. And if he doesn't make sure his intention is sincere, and he doesn't have the end goal in mind, he will not benefit. And if he does not benefit, he will not be able to be of benefit. وقال رضي الله عنه وإذا وقف طالب العلم على فائدة وأراد حفظها وتقييدها ولم تحضر لديه دوات ولا قلم فليكتبها بإصبعه على كفه أو ذراعه. He is a student of deen. If he comes across Imam Ahmad bin Hassan al-Attas, if he comes across a fa'idah, something that is something of benefit to him, and he doesn't have a pen to document it. And for a student of deen, it is very, very it's mustaqbah. It is something that is disdainful. It is something very bad if he does not have a pen with him. A student of deen must always carry with him a pen. Must always carry with him a pen. If you're a student of deen, you cannot not have a pen with you. What student of deen? Imagine a carpenter comes to work. A carpenter comes to do work for you, and he tells you, "Ik het hier harmony." He says, "Hammer for me." Huh? Or a tiler comes and he says, "I don't have a tile cutter. Do you have a tile cutter for me?" A builder comes to place the person, comes to place and he says, "I don't have a truffle and I don't have a trowel." Okay. Or a mechanic comes to you and he tells you, "Do you have spanners for me?" And I have spanners. Can it work? What kind of doctor is he if he doesn't have the tools? What kind of mechanic? Kadhalik, what kind of student of deen are you if you don't have a pen on you to document the fawaid? In one of the classes of Haib al-Adani, Al-Habib al-Adani, he says Islam was spread to two things. In his class he said Islam spread through the four corners of the world, and this is maybe not the context to the why he was speaking, but he says then he took out his pen and his siwak. He took out his pen and his siwak from, and he says Islam was spread through two things, and he showed it. Two things. A pen and a siwak. The pen resembles ilm, right? And the siwak resembles knowledge. The pen resembles knowledge and the wax resembles sunnah. That is how Islam was spread. Nothing, it's not through the politicians, it's not through wars, it's not through planning and how we find today politicians plan. I find even disgracefully the ulama, they plan who's going to be in power, who's going to what position am I going to get what. If that is the state of the ulama, to the state of the layman. They plan how I can get this person out of position, how I can appoint that person in position, how I can get more votes for me, how I can get more votes for that person. So he says, and then if a person does not get involved in politics, if you refuse to involve yourself in the filth and the khasasa of the siyasa, the filth of politics, then they say that you are inactive. You are not you are not positively involved in your community. Since when there was a requirement for a person to actively spread the deen, it must be involved in politics. Deen was never spread through politics. Deen was spread through Quran and Sunnah. Ilm and Sunnah, that is how deen was spread. When Shaykh Yusuf rahmatullah, after he was abolished after he was banished from Ceylon, and he came here, Quran, Haib, Adhkar, Mawlid, 40 people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the consequence of that is what? Alhamdulillah, mashallah. What's your name? Hisham. His name is not Jeremiah. Right? Well, the consequence of that is we are Muslims today because of it. Because people realize that involving yourself in politics is filth. That time already. What about today? When people are killing, people are breaking ties because of dunya. He says the long and the short of it is deen was spread through Quran, Sunnah and knowledge. Spreading knowledge and spreading the Sunnah of our Prophet Muhammad. And deen will continue. Let whoever wishes to say, let him say. Whoever wishes to object, let him object. His objection means nothing. His statements are worthless. It is futile. It is fruitless. It is in vain. It is an exercise in futility. It is aqim. It is someone who's aqim. Barren. It is barren. It holds no water. It carries no fruit. it harvests no benefit. Any involvement in siyasa, thinking that that is going to harvest you khair and barakah and the advancement of deen, it is deception. It is deception. The only reality that exists and the only haqiqah that exists, وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنكُمْ وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ لَيَسْتَخْلِفَنَّهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ كما استخلف الذين من قبلهم وليمكنن لهم دينهم الذي ارتضى لهم وليبدلنهم من بعد خوفهم أمنا يعبدونني لا يشركون بي شيئا. That's the only haqiqah, the only reality that exists. The promise, إن الأرض لله يورثها من يشاء من عباده. Vicegerency on this dunya, Allah Ta'ala, succession on this dunya, Allah grants it to whom He wills. And the condition of succession and vicegerency is آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. Connect yourself to the ulama.